Stay tuned to the very end where I cover 2 of the most sweatiest glitches. So I heard you want to get ahead. Headshots, headshots. Okay, we're here with Dirty Doc's Ice Spice, and I'm level 662. And sadly, with that much time on GTA Online, and sadly, this isn't my first account. But this can be the best tips and tricks video about sniping on YouTube because we're gonna go over all the fundamentals. Okay, so first things first, settings. So this is my settings and controller here. I have vibration on, but most people turn that off. And I have the adaptive triggers because I'm on PS5, but you guys could turn that off too. And the sensitivity is basically up to you, but this is mine. For camera, I would say put vehicle camera height high, put first person ragdoll off, and combat roll off also for first person, and head bobbing, turn that off also. Okay, for display, I have performance mode so I could get the 60 frames. And I have this thing right here, in-game depth of field effects, turn that off because that means that the reticle for the sniper, the stuff outside of the green, would be not blurry no more. Because if you turn it on, then it makes the outside of it blurry. As you can see by Dr. Stubby's blurry now. Compared to when you turn it off, he's not blurry no more. So right now, the best sniper in the game is the Heavy Sniper Mark II. And you're gonna wanna add this barrel right here, this muzzle brake right here, this weird one. It makes the sniper one shot. The Marksman, however, shoots faster. Like so, but it also does less damage. If you use the Heavy Sniper Mark I version, the original version that you buy at the gun store, that one usually takes 2 shots, and that's why the Mark II version is better. Now, unless if you want to get your cheeks astronomically clapped, you'll use this bad boy right here. You'll use this bad boy right here, which takes like 4 or 5 shots with this little frame pellet gun to kill an opponent. But let's say that you're low level and you don't have the Mark II, or you're not high enough level to get the Mark II. Then what you want to do is you want to get an Avenger or an MOC also to get one of these right here, a weapon and vehicle workshop, or maybe even just the weapon workshop. It's cheaper, and that way you'll be able to buy your way into getting a heavy sniper. From there, the type of ammo that I usually use for the sniper is the regular rounds because you can hold the most, but you could also use explosive rounds and everything. But there's really no point of using explosive rounds if you have one of these bad boys right here, the railgun. But you could also use the fire rounds also, are pretty good also, but sometimes a person could EVO before they even die by the fire. The full metal jacket, those rounds do nothing, and the tracer rounds just make your freaking bullets look colorful and zesty. Okay, so what's better, first person or third person? Ultimately, first person is better because you get to strafe faster compared to third person. When you strafe, you can strafe slower. Okay, watch. Stubbs is going to walk in third person right now. And look how fast he strafes. And now he's going to go first person. And look how much faster that is. However, one thing to note that is when you're in third person and you zoom in, you could walk slow. But if you hold down X on PlayStation or A on Xbox and whatever run button you have on PC, it makes you walk faster. Which some people do this, so it could like switch up your movement. Like at first you could walk a little bit slow, and then you can start going faster. But it also takes away from your aim at the same time. In this situation right here, where you have a little E-boy around the corner, there's only like a couple options you could do. You could either one, run out in third person, or run on first person and try to pull out your sniper fast enough and try to snipe them. Or another thing you could do is you could try to run out and then try to roll and try to snipe them. But those 2 options usually take more time, and then by the time you could zoom in and fully aim down your sights, you're pretty much dead already. So what I usually do is I usually grab my sack and attack, and I come and I creep around the corner, popping back and forth until maybe I could snipe them before they could get me. That you pissed off one of these tryhards so much that they start shooting a bunch of grenades. Instead of having your scope zoomed in all the way where it starts shaking a bunch, you're actually supposed to zoom out a little bit, and that way the shaking is less effective on you. The Marksman, what you actually want to do is you actually want to have longer strafes, because in order to readjust the Marksman when you're especially far away, it's harder for them to readjust for the long strafes that you're doing. Instead, if you're right here just going back and forth, just strafing like this right here, it's more easy for them to unload on you. So let's say that they're RPGing around the corner. What I usually would do is I usually would minigun them, but in this case I'll probably either peek out barely, maybe behind some cover, or I would just full on sprint out here and not get hit by an NPC car. Full on sprint out here, assault my sniper, and try to get them before they could reload or readjust. Good strafe is actually super effective and important when it comes to sniping. What you want to do is you want to either have long strides and then some small strides, or long strides going to the other side and some short strides, and try to mix it up as much as you can in order to confuse your opponent. And you really want to try to make it as unreadable as possible. So sometimes, if that means just stopping sometimes, or going all the way one side without even moving, then do that too. One of the ways to practice is you could come to one of these locations on the map right here, one of these shooting ranges. They're located at some of the ammunitions, and you could come here and you could also battle a friend in a shooting range face-off. Peaceful area to snipe at the beach is one of them, where you could shoot these little balls right here, and you could practice your aim, and you could practice your strafing also if you just want a place like to relax and practice your aim and snipe. Best relaxing place to snipe is all the way out here and this little island over here, where they have these little buoys. I know back on PS4 when you used to shoot these, it used to make like a little ding noise, but I think they patched it. But you can still see sparks and everything, and you can practice your strafe out here. And since you're all the way out here, you won't get any wanted level on you. Probably one of the best ways to practice your sniping is by just going to the city and trying to snipe NPCs out of their cars as they drive. And then when you get cops on you, it becomes a battle of trying to see how long you can survive. And usually when I try sniping, every time I get a kill, I try to practice my fast reloading. And if you don't know what fast reloading is when you swap to your C4 or whatever you have in this bomb category right here, and then you go back to your sniper or any other weapon. You could do it like this also for RPG. One of the biggest mistakes that I usually see people do is they usually try to snipe like this right here, just walking back and forth. Even though sometimes there's a time and place when you're waiting for someone to walk a certain way to do that, but most of the time I like to try to move this also, move your right stick, as it could give you more accuracy, and you don't have to wait for someone to move a certain place, because sometimes they don't. Sometimes they end up strafing too far one way or too far the other way. But of course, drag scoping is something that you learn as you progress and get better at sniping. The best outfit isn't a beautiful outfit like one of these. Instead, it's an outfit where you dress all in black in order to make it harder for your opponents to see you, especially if you're at the beach, where it's pretty much impossible to see each other when it's nighttime, or at the airport also. The notable things with tryhards is that they always wear a helmet, and that's because wearing one of these bad boys right here could potentially make you 2-tap even with the MK2. And one of the best things to use with a sniper is actually the thermals, because as you can see, Dr. Stubby's all the way down there, and right now I can't see him at all because the render hasn't loaded that part in yet. But if I come over here and I activate my thermals, then I could already see him already. He's a little orange person right there, little Oompa Loompa. Find a thermal or a helmet is over here at the map stop over here at the beach. Only cheap players use the Marksman rifle, and if someone's using BST and a Marksman rifle against you, then your best bet is to use BST and a Marksman rifle also against them. Either that or maybe a minigun. But you could also potentially use the Marksman rifle if someone usually does a small strafe like this right here. A small strafe like that. And that way you could just unload on them the whole time. But then if you use the tactic that I gave you earlier where they start doing long strafes, it'll be harder to track them down while shooting a bunch rapid fire. Glitch that could be used is if you're using this regular RPG right here, right? Dr. Stubby's all the way down there, and you can't even see him, right? But if you shoot an RPG, he glows and you can see where he is. You see him right there? It glows, watch. When you shoot it, he's right there. He's a little orange here right there. Dr. Stubby's all the way over there behind this building at the park. And we're about to shoot him through the building. So right now you could like barely see him right here, right? But if you want to see him like a little bit more, then you shoot the RPG and you can see him glow for like a little split second. Watch. You see him glow right there, right? You go and you can zoom into him and you can shoot him through the building. And the way to do this is you have to be like a certain distance where you're outside of the render, and that way you can shoot through the building.